And we're live.
All right, let's get to it. The gradual grind. Good morning. Let's go.
Oh, he's got a little coffee. Look at you. You official.
Oh yeah.
It's Starbucks too, ain't it?
No, sir. I'm actually living out of a hotel, so I got that free hotel coffee every morning.
Even though you don't wake up for the breakfast.
Hey, it's such a weird situation with COVID that breakfast really isn't worth it.
Why? Because we would just be
It's
down
like
there just.
no, everything's like pre-wrapped, so it's like remember when Obama came into office and Michelle Obama changed all like the school lunches, and all of a sudden they just got super trash. Like
Yeah,
the
man.
subs
Yeah,
started
man.
coming in like plastic wrap and shit.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love the Obamas, but that was the worst thing,
Boy,
man. I
that was
remember I had just got into like, I think what was it, like fifth grade, and that was when they had like vending machines with soda
yeah.
and hot Cheetos
Everything
with
when
cheese, and you can
everything
go to
started
consistent.
coming.
Yeah, man. And then next, all of a sudden, like we come back to school and it's chocolate milk, and like
Man,
no, not like nothing good.
hey, but I'll tell you, one of the greatest glories that came out of all of that is baked hot Cheetos. Let me tell you.
Baked hot
Yeah.
Cheetos.
All right. Let's get to the weekly update. We need to be sidetracked. What's going on? What happened this past week? What's going on in your world, man?
Man, let's see. So second week at work, it was a short week because of that Labor Day holiday.
Yeah.
Gonna be tough, man. It's definitely gonna be a tough grind there. But it's cool. And I did my little budget, did my finances. Starting back up with practices for my AAU team this weekend. Actually, like right after this in a couple hours, so I'm gonna head over to the gym and
Okay.
kind of get the boys going. But just looking at what money's gonna look like this next coming year, and it looks like I'm gonna be touching more money than I've ever touched before. So it's
Oh,
gonna be crazy.
okay. Big bang, big bang.
Nah, not too big.
Let me ask you. We're gonna get to this later. But are you putting any of that up in like 401ks? Do
Oh
you
yeah,
have some type of savings plan
yeah, for sure.
going forward? Yeah.
So I got a 401k plan that I'm gonna try to max out this next coming year.
Oh, I was gonna say
Not
you
this
got
year.
4 more months.
Yeah, not this year. I'm
Hey,
not.
I did when I got on my new job too. Someone was like, "Oh, you should probably max out your 401k." And
And then you looked at your
this
paycheck
is
and you're like, that
no,
don't make sense.
this is August, right? And they're like, I was like, "Well, how much is that?" And they're like, "Oh, it's like 19,000 or something." I was like,
19,000. Yeah.
"What? 19? I'm probably gonna make that in the next 5 months."
Yep.
Nah, but for real, I was like, "Hey, nah." Oh, you got some good advice, but I ain't listening to this one.
Yeah. Like I think for this month it's more just like making sure I have a savings instead of
Yeah.
putting it in an account I can't touch for who knows how many years.
Right.
Nah, but I got that. I have a HSA plan with my
Yeah.
I guess my insurance provider, and
Yeah.
so that's dope because it's kind of like an investment account, but it's also you
No,
can
the
pull it out whenever you
HSA.
need it for.
I,
Yeah,
ju- I
it's the
just
move.
learned about the HSA. Did you go with the high deductible medical insurance? Yup.
Yep,
Hey, that's the way to go. Hey,
it really is.
when I broke it down to me, I was like, okay, now y'all talking, y'all ripping off the game.
Hmm. Nah, it's dope. So did that. I got my own savings account. I'm already investing on my own. So I
Mhm.
have a Fidelity account, Robinhood, like everybody, just to kind of play around with it, which is actually kind of dope. I learned a lot just through making mistakes through Robinhood. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, got that going. I don't know, man. Just trying to figure out the next moves, how to end off the year in the right way.
feel that, man. I feel it,
What about you? Any updates? Any big moves?
man.
Any little gradual moves?
Hey, gradual moves first. Remember that video I sent you?
Or you sent me a lot of videos.
Send you a lot of videos. But the motivational video
Oh
that
yeah,
I've
yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of been talking about a lot lately. In that video, he just I don't recommend this, but like he talks about just preparing yourself for the life if you want to live. Like he was like, oh, I used to go and sit in the Rolls Royces at the Rolls or whatever. Like I wouldn't do no shit like that. But like uh, we the John, I'm talking about estates. Man, we drove around this neighborhood, and I was like, I'm gonna be here. Be here. You know what I'm
In
saying?
Kansas City though?
Man, hey, I said I first got here, there's something different about this area. It's this place called Mission Hills.
Hmm.
Uh, watching, they can back me up, man. It's some there. Yeah, I mean, you think about it.
Wait, what? Dude, dude, my Wi-Fi is tripping. It literally like lets you say two words and then it will freeze. He said, "You think?"
Oh, bro, but you think about it, and Patrick Mahomes, man,
Oh, that's true. That's true.
somebody has
But
money.
he play. But I mean, he plays there, right? Like,
Yeah,
so it makes
but
sense for him to have a house.
yeah, but what I'm saying is like somebody has to have money. You know what I'm saying?
That is
Somebody
true.
who signs his paycheck has money.
Mm.
But nah, so I just, just I've been feeling real inspired this week. Long week of work. I was grinding out at work all week. But then I say I've definitely kind of gotten down my pattern, and I'd say 5 out of the last 6 days I have been productive at night, working towards my my side jobs, my side hustles. So I have been
Oh,
productive.
are
Yeah.
those top secret right now or something? Or
No, I mean it's not top secret, but I don't want to put something out there and then
someone steal that shit?
not even steal it, but like kind of hop on the wave, Because
Makes sense.
also something like that I've been watching a lot of stuff, listening to a lot of stuff. Like a lot of these guys, um, I heard something real dope. It was like uh, this guy broke it down. There was like you have three opportunities, right? One is 0% chance, one is 50% chance, and then one is 100% chance, right? And for the
Hmm.
100% chance, the reward is like $1. For the 50% chance, it's like $10. And then for the 0% chance, it's like $100,000, right? And so it's like, well, what do people pick? It's like, well, 10 out of 10 people would just usually go, with the smallest 100%. Okay, I'm gonna get this, right? Especially if the stakes are raised, right? So like, so say that like 100% is actually $10,000. They're gonna say, oh, I'm gonna take that, right? But what if the 0% chance is $1 billion, right? There's some people in this world, the very few who, they don't believe in 0%. And those are the people who go on to change the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, who would believe that, 10 years ago today, we'd be, talking on our iPhones like we do now. You know what I'm saying? Or driving in other people's cars in Uber. You know what I'm saying? Like, this
Yeah, that is crazy.
it's just stuff that like there's 0% chances, and that's what goes on to change the world. So
Yeah,
um
it's like things that people never thought would be
yeah,
possible and people overlooked, right? Like Amazon, like he said it. He was
yeah,
ground out for like 20, like 17 years before it popped off
yeah,
because everyone thought
man.
it was dumb.
And the thing is, like, in their own ways, they're creating their value. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And so like that's what I'm doing right now. And so I just want I'm gonna come forward with it when I feel like it's the right time. You know what I'm saying? Bring it public. So
Fair enough. Now, I feel the same way, bro. Like, I feel like as soon as I try to discover something and I share it just because I'm interested in it, right?
mhm.
Like, people are looking for that 10 for
Yeah,
10, right? Like that
right.
100%. And so they look at it as, oh, someone else is doing it. There's money in that, so I'm gonna do it too. Like that's what
Yeah.
happens with all these like these forex scams, right? Like we talked about last week. I fucking hate these forex scams. I'm gonna keep harping on them, but these people see it. They're like, oh, these people are making money. Let me hop on that
Yeah,
trend, right? Like,
yeah, mhm.
and so you're right. Like it's people. You're right. Most people will take that dollar reward because it's 100%. Some
Yeah,
people might take that 50% reward,
mhm.
but there are very few that take that 0%. And I'm not
Very
gonna lie.
few.
Sometimes I'm not that 0%. Like
Hey, it takes some cojones, you know what I'm
it
saying?
does, especially when you're risking it all. Like
Yeah, there's definitely that. Those opportunities kind of segueing into the next part. Those opportunities are made by, the people that you're around too. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
that is true.
there's whatever, if you're taking that 0% path, you never know who's going to help you. You never know who you're going to need. You know what I'm saying? Your image, your relationship,
Your brand,
all
yeah.
all of that is important. So, uh,
I think we
how,
kind of touched on that last week, right? Like I even
yeah,
mentioned it. A lot of the opportunities I got came off of people I knew that mentioned something
mm-hmm.
like, "Yo, you should probably check." For right now, this job, it was my sister's roommate basically, or her friend, that was like, "Yo, you should probably check out this job. You should. It probably fits you well, right?" I'm like, "Oh, for sure, bet." So I check it out, and it works out. The AAU program, same thing. I had a client, an old client, who really wasn't my client. I just trained this kid a couple times, who came up to me. I was like, "Yo, let's do this," right? Something I would never thought of doing on my own. He was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Let's just do this," and I'm like, "Shit, let's give it a chance." That was the 0%. That was the one time I did 0%. I didn't think I didn't think that was gonna work out at all, but we made it work, and so here we
Yeah,
are.
yeah, I feel that. I'm still working on that, to be honest. Like, I feel like it's very easy to resort to like the first thing you think of when you think of like the saying "my network is my net worth." You just start thinking of like, okay, who do I know that would help me out if I needed help? You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to
Oh
that
yeah.
thinking like super small, and I think
Hmm.
like it's good. Try thinking bigger. Try thinking bigger scale. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
Like with
sure.
everything you do in life, just think bigger about the ideas that are in front of you.
Yeah, I think a lot of times network has the bad connotation of like, who do I know that can like do favors for me, right? Like,
Hmm.
oh, I know a mechanic, like, oh, I know a doctor, or I know a lawyer, right, that can help me out. And I think I was kind of like that for a long time too, because that's what a lot of my clients are, right? So it's easy to be
Hmm.
like, oh, I have a dentist, or I have this, right? But I was thinking super short term, and in the end, and you always
Yeah.
get on me about this, right? Like how I'm not capitalizing on my network, and
Yeah.
like I realize it's true because there's so many things I could be talking to these people about, and
Hmm.
offering them opportunities or getting in on opportunities that they have,
Yeah.
and I'm
Because
just not in those conversations because I'm thinking too small, right?
yeah, the most valuable relationships, I mean, they have trade-offs. One side, it's not someone carrying somebody else, you know what I'm saying?
Hell
And
yeah.
so I feel like you found a way to provide maybe not so much like business value to those people, but
Hmm.
family value, you know?
For sure.
Like you improve their families' lives. You know what I'm saying? So uh, that's just a good place to start, and it doesn't always have to be a monetary trade-off. You know what I'm saying? I think
Yeah.
that's the small thinking that everybody goes to, like, oh, they'll help me start my business. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
no, that's
Yes.
that's not how it that's not how life goes. Like, I don't even have money, but if I did, and like, say my cousin was like, "Oh, can you start this business for me?" I'm gonna be like, "No, like I need to see what you're doing." You know what I'm saying? And if I'm interested in it, then maybe I would. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
that's just not how it goes, and that's family to me. Like, I'd do anything for my family, but I'm not stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. You know?
Yeah, man. I think, and that was one thing I was thinking about too. Like, there people, and you're right. People always want that monetary exchange, right? Like,
Hmm.
oh, like for the example, if I have a dentist, oh, he'll save me money, right?
Yeah.
Or oh, they'll like do this, or they'll pay for my dinner, right? Or I
Hmm.
don't have to pay dinner because I know the chef or
Yeah.
whatever. Or yeah. Or I think my biggest problem too, and I realized this, was for a long time the guy I considered my mentor. Like, I just wanted him to put me on, to tell me what to do,
Yeah.
right? But then I realized, like, at that point, I'm not a mentee. I'm like a charity case,
Hmm.
right? Like, I'm his lackey, just doing what he says because I
Yeah.
feel like it's gonna work.
Right.
But in the end, that's not the point. The point is, I should go come up with my own idea, try to figure that out, and once I have it set and ready, I can present it to him and be like, "Let me know what you think about this opportunity," right? And who
Hmm.
knows, that might be the biggest breakthrough I have, my first series of funding, or different
Yeah.
thing like that.
And
And even in my friendships and my relationships, I started looking at it that way,
yeah,
right? Like,
for sure.
I fuck with very limited people, and that's just not because I just have a personality, I feel like, that's very difficult to get along with sometimes. Um, just because I can be very uninterested in what you're talking about, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to,
Yeah, no,
but
if it's wasting my time, get that up on my ear. I don't wanna
exactly,
I don't wanna hear
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm real to myself a lot, right? Like, some of my friends back home won't hear from me for like 6 months,
Mhm.
but as soon as we get back together, like, it's like we
Yeah.
never stop
That's
talking,
how
right? But
life is, man. For
yeah,
sure.
but the people I'm consistently around a lot, like, I want to make sure I'm adding value to your life in some way or another, right? Whether that's I'm part of your network. Hopefully it's more than just business, right? But it's like I add some emotional value to you, right?
Right.
And the same thing, there has to be some trade-off there. You have to add some value in my life.
Mhm.
Like I'm not just gonna hang around with you because like we cool. If we're not doing
Yeah.
anything, we're not talking about anything interesting or productive. It's like there's no real point to that.
Yeah, I feel like that's the difference between you like you said, you have those friends back home.
Hmm.
Um and not that like they're not achieving their life goals or anything, but your interests may be in two different areas.
Different,
Yeah, they
man.
may be
It's
in
just
two
two different
different
paths.
areas, and y'all could still be great friends. Like y'all can have great camaraderie, best times when y'all together. But on the day to day when you're living your life and they're living your life, you know what I'm saying? Like you guys might not have that to talk about, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Not
For sure.
everybody has to be along on your journey every single step of the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, for
And
sure.
it takes a certain, I don't know if you want to say maturity, but like you
I think
kind of
it's
have
just understanding that, right?
yeah,
Like
you have
you
to
do have to be mature because you can't be like, oh, well, we haven't talked in 6 months. We're not cool no more, right?
right.
Like,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
like,
no, for
hey, like
sure.
you never want to come out with us, right? Like we're not cool no
Hmm.
more. Like
Oh yeah, definitely.
that's
Like
stupid.
I remember there was a dude I went to high school and was it's funny because like we were never like homies. We always talked to each other in school, blah blah blah. Saw each other out of school. We was at the same events or whatever. Um, but like he was a grinder and I was a grinder. Totally different personalities, right?
Mhm.
And like, but at the same time, he always showed love though. Like,
And those are the best people, bro.
huh?
Those are the best people.
Yeah, like,
Like you don't even know them, but they're on like constantly supporting you. That's the
yeah, bro.
best.
Like I would when I went to college, he was like, bro, I'm proud of you. Like you worked hard, like you did all the things that you needed to do that other people around you weren't doing, right? And he didn't have to do none of that, right? But then I see him doing his thing every, say 3 or 4 months, and I'm like, okay, keep grinding, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm reciprocating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
that's a. I think I'm aiming to be that person, right?
yeah.
Like I think for a long time I got caught up on that Instagram comparison shit, and a lot of times I found myself being jealous of people, even not understanding their stories or what they're actually doing. I
Hmm.
just saw them get a new car, and I'm like, damn, bro, must be nice, right? But like in the end, like again, they're in a different path than I am. So all I really want to do is show love, because in the end, in the long run, right? Like I don't want to be the eccentric billionaire, millionaire who has no friends. Like I want to be someone that people are like, oh, like I can hit that guy up and he can give me advice, or like I
Yeah.
can have lunch with this dude because that's part of building your network too, right? Like that's a move, that's a strategic move there too.
Yeah,
But
for
yeah, those are the
sure.
best people. Like you don't even know them, they don't even know you, but they show honest, true love, not fake love, because that happens too. But true
Yeah,
love, like
no,
they just constantly
like
support. Like
so
that's
so I hit him up this week and I was just like, "Hey, I was thinking about you, bro, and I hope you're doing well. Keep grinding." And he was like, "I appreciate that, man. Life has its ups and downs, but when you're back, let's go." You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I have no idea what he's doing.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? And he
mm-hmm.
really doesn't know what I've been doing. You know what I'm saying? But then again, that relationship is building something. Maybe we can do business together. Maybe we
In
can't.
the future.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's something that you don't always have to think about what they can do for you. You know what I'm saying? But then again, like rooting for somebody, hey, that's a nice way to build a relationship.
Yeah. And it's I think you should think about what they can do for you, but not always like what benefit do I get, right? Like
Hmm.
what's the mutual benefit here? Because there's some times where I feel like like a lot of people can offer, like a lot of my clients, right, or even people that I know that are older, that are successful,
Hmm.
they can offer me a lot, but I'm not gonna go bug them all the time because I have nothing else in return. Like
Hmm.
again, I don't want to be a charity case, right? Like I don't
Right.
want to be a bother.
Yeah.
Um, and even with my friendships and even my relationship, right? Like I'm not gonna be in a relationship that's not going anywhere. Like if we're just sitting here doing bullshit, not being productive, and I'm not working on what I'm trying to work on, and she's not
Hmm.
working on what she's trying to work on, we're putting ourselves in a bad spot. Like
Yeah.
every day we're having conversations about, oh, so like well, what do you feel like doing, and like what's your next move, right? Or we talk about stocks, or we talk about something stimulating to kind of get that mindset going that we're in a partnership.
Hmm.
Because if I ever get married, right, like I want to make sure my wife has her thing, and she can handle the finances just as well as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't want to be in that, oh, I'm the provider, you're the the girl at
Hey,
home.
chill out,
Like
chill out,
that's
chill out, chill out, chill out.
nah. But it's different. But you're having the same conversations, right? Like it's just circumstances. I'm cool with it if I'm the main provider and she's doing her little gig and she's having fun doing that. That's great, right?
Yeah,
But I want to make sure she still understands how to handle the finances, because
yeah.
I see a lot where the dude's the main provider,
Uh-huh.
right? And they have a great relationship, but the biggest struggle they have is money because the girl's out there doing whatever.
Yeah.
Or the opposite way, right? The dude is the main provider and does whatever he wants and like kind of limits the girl and what she can do because she doesn't provide. Like,
Yeah.
I never want that dynamic. Like that's a power struggle that I don't want to have.
Yeah, that is tough. I don't want to go through that. Hopefully I never have to. Okay, so we talked about it earlier, you know what I'm saying? So let's talk about like the decision of you got this job, you're about to make more money than you ever have, right? Um, so you're 23, talk about savings, da da da. How long do you save for? Like when's that point where you're like,
And
okay, I can start like living a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
man, I have a weird view on this, and I know a lot of the people that like are financial gurus would disagree, but I'm gonna live my life regardless, right? Like I'm gonna save because I've been in situations where I've been dead broke because of
Mhm.
bad money decisions or something just happened that I wasn't foreseeing, right? And that's life.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna have my 401k. I'm gonna have my investment accounts. I'm gonna have my HSA and a saving, like a emergency fund.
Yeah.
But I see these dudes on YouTube and on Instagram and wherever, or even just people I talk to that are like super frugal. Like, nah, I can't. I like nice things, right?
Yeah.
That's just how it is. I like to eat at nice restaurants because the food can be good. I also like to eat at cheap restaurants too, right? I just like to experience things.
Mhm.
I like to try. I want to travel. I want to go experience different parts of life, and some of those parts are gated by money, right?
Mhm.
Like people say, "Oh yeah, I want to travel," but it's like, "But can you get to Fiji though?" Because no, right? Like, so
Hey.
I think for me, it's a balance. Like I'm gonna make sure I have a good amount of money put away for rainy days and for the future because I never know what that holds. But at the same time, I'm also gonna have money on hand to do things I want to do, right? And that I think it just depends on the time frame that I'm living in and kind of the period I'm living in. So sometimes, my savings might be maxed out. Like I'm gonna put as much money as I possibly can in my savings and this and that, and kind of have a smaller tangible cash flow. Or, if I have a lot of my savings and I'm planning some big trips, I might, get a little bit, I might not put so much money away and I'll put it, in my cash flow so I can spend it. So when do you actually just stop saving? I think as soon as like you can quit your job and not do anything for a few years and you have money ready for you. I mean, that's really the only thing.
Yeah. So going with that, like, do you plan? I find this such like I wouldn't say an awkward conversation, but like talks about like retiring. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
why is being so highly looked upon? I don't know like, the life I want. I don't know if I want to retire ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't want to work at a certain job, I'm just not going to work at that job. Does that make
Yeah, I think it's different though, man. Like
you know what I'm
I think
saying?
people that are really looking forward to retirement are the people that hate their jobs or
It,
like hate to work. And I get that, right? Like I get that. I know people that have these shitty ass jobs for 40 years and they've dealt with it for 40, 50 years and then they retire and now they have a little nest egg to kind of sit on and never work again. But for me, I'll work the shitty job until I have enough money to be like, okay, if I go work on something I actually want to work on, and even if it doesn't make a lot of money right away, I have a nest egg to support
Mhm,
myself for 5+ years, four
mhm.
plus years, 3 years, whatever the time frame is. Sometimes it might be a little bit more risky when I'm young compared to when I'm older. Um, and even you're right, like I don't know if I want to retire. Like I want to still be exploring things when I'm old because I feel like as soon as you stop doing things and you stop learning and you stop exploring, like I think Einstein said it right, or it might be one of those stupid fake quotes, but like once you stop learning, like that's when you start dying. Like
Nah,
for
for
real.
real.
Yeah, it's
Like
just
if I even if like I retired, I'm gonna get bored. I'm gonna want to go work at like Walmart or something. Anything.
I don't know about Walmart, but
I was just saying a random.
Bucky's.
You know what I'm saying? Like do something you enjoy, but like I don't know. I just that concept doesn't. It never flies for me unless like you're ill or like you've been working manual labor for like a long time, you know what I'm
Time.
saying?
Yeah.
Then
I think
you
that's where it
might be
comes from.
tired. Maybe I could see in situations where like you have children who now have children, you know what I'm saying? Like you want to be the
The
grandparent.
grandpa.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's like always there. I can see that. If that's like your goal, you know what I'm saying? Then that's cool, but like just to retire for the sake of not working, I can't get with it. It just
Yeah.
doesn't mesh
See,
in my
but
head.
I so I have 2 points on that. You said
So,
something
but
interesting.
all of that goes back to why am I saving so much if
Much
I'm really
money.
not going to retire? You know what I'm saying? Like
So
if I
the
can't retire, then why would I save all this money?
yeah. So the thing is, I think in terms of the definition of retire, I want to retire early, right?
Right,
Meaning
right.
that I don't want to have to work.
Hmm.
I'm working because I want to,
Right.
right? That's I would retire at 30 or 25. I would retire right now if I could, right? And to say like I don't have to work. I
Hmm.
choose to because I'm exploring something I like. That's what my mentor does, right?
Hmm.
He doesn't have to work at all. But he likes to teach and he's part of this, engineering program at a university here in Texas and so he's doing that for fun. For some people, it's the opposite. It's like I'm done working at all because my job was horrible on my body, on my psyche, whatever, right?
Hmm.
So I don't want to do the second definition. I want to do the first. Like I want to retire. I want to be the tech millionaire, right? That retired at 30 and now he's just working on other apps for fun, but he doesn't have to work for 20,000 years, right? Like because
Right.
he has money to come back. But then the second point you said was when you have kids of kids, right? Like when your
Hmm.
kids have kids
Hmm.
I think that's one of the reasons why I would keep saving. So, for example,
I feel
I might
that.
keep working
I
and keep
feel
having
that.
income and I'll live off that income, right? And maybe a little bit of my nest egg, but I want to leave something behind for the
Life
next
insurance.
generations.
Life
Yeah,
insurance.
well, yeah, life insurance, or it could be, real estate assets. It could be a business. It could be something just to keep,
Hey, I
this
saw
generational wealth going.
I saw a fire interview where like I know it's practiced a lot in like African families.
Mm-hmm.
Um the grandparents or like the children of the family will take out a life insurance policy on their grandparents because death is death look hear me out like it sounds kind of morbid, but if you think about it, like death is going to happen to everybody.
It's inevitable. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
inevitable.
every so do you want to be stuck with this bill and a dead parent, grandparent, or do you nah dead ass? You know what I'm saying?
He
Like,
said, and
or do you want okay, we prepared for this. You know what I'm saying? Here's $250,000. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and that's part of it, right? Well, I mean, already I have life insurance just
why isn't that practiced more though? You know what I'm saying?
but it
I
and
feel
it is
like
well
it
and it
is
is not by
among
people that look like us, right?
right,
It's not about
man.
people that look like us. It's
And why
among the
don't we have these
wealthier
conversations? You know what I'm saying?
and I think part of that, man, is the fact that we talked about it a little bit. I think we touched on it, but like we've had to learn this stuff by ourselves, right? Or we have to
Yeah.
go learn it by ourselves. My parents, they're very well educated classically, right? They have college degrees. My dad has a
Mhm.
doctorate. He started his own business, but financially they never got exposed to the things we've been exposed to. And so it's funny, even sometimes when I talk to my dad about investing, he gets like super sketched out. Right? He's like, oh, stock market. Well, I'll do like bonds and stuff. Like that's a good strategy, right? But there's other ways about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, one of the biggest reliefs about getting this job is that I have insurance now.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have insurance because they didn't understand how to go, make insurance, get an insurance plan for my dad's company and blah blah blah. Because it's only him and my mom really working there. So stuff like that, like it's important to know. So life insurance, right? So you say a lot of African families do that, but it's not just African families. It's like
Oh
all the
no. Yeah,
rich,
yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
the wealthier class, they all have that. when
That's
grandpapa
smart.
dies, everyone gets a nice little check of $250,000, and
Yeah,
that's
if I'm paying for this insurance for 30 years, I'm gonna get my $250,000
mm,
back. You know what I'm saying? It sounds real bad.
put that shit in my grave.
It sounds real bad, man. Hey, it's something that needs to be discussed, and I'm gonna do it for my kids. I'm gonna make my kids do it.
For
I'll give them
sure.
money to pay for
And
their
I'm not
insurance.
even gonna do it for my kids. I'm trying to talk to my parents about these things, right? So I'm trying to get them to understand, like, hey, like, let's let's
Let's get in front
talk
of
about the
it.
elephant in the room. Yeah, like you're
Front
getting
of it.
older, right?
It's a hard
Yeah, it's a
conversation.
hard conversation, and it's hard emotionally, right? For me, like for anybody, like talking to my parents, like, hey, like you're getting older. I've seen things change, right? Like we have to
Man.
understand that things could happen, or even worse, right? I could, so for
Yeah.
example, I hate bringing this into like the conversation, but like cancer runs my family, right? And the
No,
thing
that
is,
Chadwick
it's
Boseman stuff scared me. I'm
yes,
about to go
and
get
it
checked up next week.
it scared me because it skips a generation in my family.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I had two grandparents die of cancer, and it didn't hit my parents. And I'm gonna speak in existence. It's not gonna hit my parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it might hit me, my sister, and my little brother. Who knows, right? So, like, that's part of the conversation of saving. Like, I'm saving all this money to never live my life, but shit, I might not make it to 30,
Yeah.
right? So anything could happen to where I'm saying all this stuff in the future, but never live my life now because I'm always in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing comes, shit, you have stage 4, terminal, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that would be a horrible realization that I never got to live my life because of that.
Yeah. No.
And at the same time, I have to talk to my parents about that. Like, hey, look, these are the steps we're gonna take. So if anything does happen, God forbid, right? We're prepared,
Yeah.
and there's at least some benefit to it.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Now, so talking about all this future stuff, like you're saying, like when does all of this come to fruition? We're talking about retirement. That's what all of this kind of is like. When does your hard work come to fruition? If you're does it change if you're an employee versus an entrepreneur? You know what I'm saying? That
yeah,
moment, and it, you know what I'm saying? I feel like those are big questions, and um, it's easy to sit and say like, oh, in 6 years, my life's gonna be nice, so I'm just gonna sit here and keep doing what I'm doing.
I mean, you want to speak it into it, but you never know.
Yeah, so I mean, you really never know, and this goes back to that like zero. Everything's kind of coming full circle, like with the 0% thing. Like, do I just sit here and do what I'm told, or do I get proactive and create something? And who knows where it can take me? You know what I'm saying?
when it,
Like
yeah,
there's so many different avenues that your life can go at any moment. And so,
any particular moment, and I think we both experienced
man,
just random situations
man,
that could have torn our life up.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Looking to the side, cyanide somebody.
Nah, but
Hopefully she doesn't watch these.
no, I love her. She's the biggest blessing ever, man. But your time is coming, but don't just sit and wait for it.
Yeah, man. It's easy for somebody. We're talking about retirement and people working that shitty job for so long, but it's easy because it's stable,
So easy.
right? Or
So easy.
it seems stable. You have a certain amount of money coming in every month.
Mhm.
You know the processes. You know, etc. Right? There's no fluctuation. There's no volatility. But I think COVID showed a lot of people that stability isn't 100%,
Mhm.
right? It is 98%. So it could be something that comes out of left field and fucks their whole life up because you weren't preparing for it and weren't proactive about it.
Mhm.
But for me, yeah, this job right now is great. It pays me a lot of money already. By that, just because of that job, I'm making more than ever before. But then I still have this AAU side business that if, that job becomes unavailable for some reason, I have this to go. And even if that, both of those disappear at the same time, I've built skills that I can go and get a job in a field that is doing pretty well.
Mhm.
So can you imagine being like a factory worker, right? And you've worked at this job for 40 years and then the factory shuts down.
Yeah.
right?
That
And
happens to
now,
people.
depending on what you did at the factory, you could be limited on what you can do now,
Hmm.
like,
No, it's the same
right,
thing with the army, man. Like people give their lives for this country.
to the military.
Come home and yeah, you may have built a couple of skills, but like,
Like you,
hey,
yeah,
it's
man,
competitive, and
it is.
it's a hard situation, and I'm you know I'm thankful that we're in a place where people are trying to help out more now. I think I'm not even fully
Hmm.
aware, but like that's tough.
Yeah,
Like
man, and
I could fully understand why someone like go after their first contracts like, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do, so I'm just gonna stay in, and they end up staying in their entire life because of
it's
fear.
hard, man.
Yeah,
It's hard,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
think a lot of people realized it, and I mean, I kind of went through it, sort of. Um, Trying to find a job is difficult.
Mhm.
Like, especially nowadays, you have, especially in the field I'm trying to get into, it's extremely competitive. Where I'm not even competing with people here in my city, or here in my state, or here in this country. I'm competing with people coming in from all over the world,
Mhm.
right? So it's I could see why getting that first offer and it being stable for a while is very appealing to some people. But
Mhm.
for me, I understand when it's stable, there is a ceiling to that. So people say, I'm going to go teach for 6 months or a year, 2 years, and then I'm going to go do something else. But then they end up teaching for 45 years because it's
Yeah.
so stable, right? They get used to
Yeah.
the cycle, and teachers are always needed, right? Meanwhile, you're not going to have, well, right now it's different. Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, right?
Mhm.
But very few people are really going to stick to, hey, like this job can make me, $3,000 a month, or it can make you $300 a month, right?
Mhm.
And that's scary because guess what? You adjust to a lifestyle, and then all of a sudden shit tanks.
Yep.
I can't pay my bills, right? So, like, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been through that.
Yeah.
Like,
No, for
tough.
real.
It's where I'm balling one week, and then the next, it's, oh well, I forgot to pay this. I couldn't pay. Like, it's real scary, man, and it can fuck with your mental. It can fuck with your health a little bit. But if you take that route and you make the right moves, it's not just gonna come naturally. You have to make the right moves, be proactive, and keep learning. Like, you can. I mean, it could be the most beneficial thing you ever do.
Yeah. No. To end kind of this segment, like, what are things that you're doing today to prepare you for your future?
I'm learning as much as I can, and I'm reading a lot more.
Okay.
And it sounds super cliche, but I'm reading to kind of understand spaces I didn't understand before, and I'm just learning because I know industry and the world is changing. So, and we see it, right? Like the computer in the past really 20 years has completely taken over the world.
Mhm.
Everyone has a smartphone on them pretty
Yeah.
much, right? So understanding where in the next 20 years is this world going to be, right? And how can I be influential or benefiting off that change. I don't want to be stuck in
Mhm.
something that is not going to be there in 20 years. Um, and that's the biggest thing, right? So I'm taking random courses on how to code in Python. I'm learning about markets and volatility and how the rice trade in Asia can, or the silk trade in Asia can affect manufacturing and shit here in the U.S. It's complex stuff, but I've realized even just with this job, understanding that can open doors that you've never even knew were there,
Mhm.
right? So, um, just really just learning, man. It's super cliche, and it's not. I'm not saying you have to go get like a college degree, but learn yourself and take good resources because there's a lot of bullshit out there. Um, but really just that.
Google. You Google. Google your best friend.
Yeah, Google Scholar, and there's a lot of things, right? And it could be you can even learn from other people. There's people that
Mhm.
are good at what they do. Just fucking hit them up, see what they
Yeah,
have to say,
for
or
sure.
follow them, or do whatever, right? Um, but yeah, just that. How about you? What are your steps getting to where you want to
Man,
be?
I'm really like, I'm always, you know me, but for those of you who don't, like, I'm a super hard worker. Like, I can, I can take hard work to like the point to where like I'm starving and not like providing myself with nutrients. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll
Yeah,
work
forget
that.
to eat.
Yeah, I'll work that hard with anything that I've done, and that's just how I've gotten by this whole time. And yeah, I'm in a cool situation, but I feel like I'm at a point where like I want to be different than just the hard worker. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yep.
no offense, I don't even know why I'm saying no offense. anybody can work it. Anybody can work as hard as I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's people who work harder and smarter, so they have a better chart of growth. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I'm really aligning myself with perspective um and my interests. Because I've kind of worked so hard to the point where like I don't even care if I like this thing that I'm doing, but I need to do it, like, because
Hmm.
that's what's in front of me. I can see that. So even if I don't like it, I'm just gonna do it. But now, so I'm gonna do that during the day. But in the meantime, I'm going to look at the hardships that I have in front of me, view them as an opportunity instead of an obstacle, and then I'm going to align my interest with that opportunity, if that makes sense. So I can enjoy the path that I'm going on, and kind of visualize where I'm going and where I want to go. And
That makes
so
sense.
I'm just, I really don't know. I don't have like an end goal, but I feel like um, I'm getting my head right pretty much. So that's what I'm doing. I'm
Yeah.
practicing a lot of good thoughts, and just enjoying life, because I'm telling you, having a kid, my baby is only like two months and a couple weeks old, but like her growth, man, is just like I need to enjoy these moments. Like I just can't grind. I can't put my head down and grind through every day. You know what I'm saying? And wait for that
Yeah.
one day, like we're talking about, that wait for that one day where it's
One
like,
day
this is
that might
it.
never
Like,
come. It
yes,
keeps. Yeah.
exactly. So like I need to enjoy it. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm getting my mental right, and my perspective right.
I think that's a good point, man. I think for sure. I mean, don't take our advice as gold. It's definitely not gold. Take it with a grain of salt.
Hmm.
But I think do the things you want to do. There are things you're gonna have to do that you don't want to do,
Oh, yeah,
that
for
you
sure.
hate. It's
Hmm.
just that it's just life, right? But if like I think that talks about enjoying your present, right? Because you don't know about the future. That's why I say like I'm gonna live my life because I don't want to sacrifice my 20s and 30s, right? And then look up and before I know it, family members have passed away. I've lost friends. I've missed out on big events in people's lives because I was so busy grinding,
Hmm.
right? Like I'm gonna enjoy the time I have with the people I'm around, right? So I'm gonna enjoy the time with my girlfriend, right? In these moments of like the beginning of hopefully very successful relationship, right? I'm gonna enjoy my parents and the youth they still have now. I'm gonna enjoy my dogs, right? I'm gonna enjoy my just just the little things that are here in the present that you can easily miss if you have your head down and you're grinding and you're trying to zone life out because you're waiting for that day where it's like, oh yeah, I'm good, right? But it's like that day and a lot of other things is a you're chasing a goal that you're never gonna get to. It's like running on a treadmill trying to get like to a point B, right?
Yeah.
Like you're never gonna get there. People always say like, oh, once I make this money, I'll be good. Like that's not gonna make you happy, man. Like it's
No.
like again that thing we talked about last time. It's like, do you want to be rich? Do you want to be fulfilled? And I think I'm looking for fulfillment while still making money to help with, certain and like certain results that I want to see.
Mhm.
So yeah, man, that's a good point
I feel it, man. Hey, one step at a time.
for
That's all
sure.
we can say. Take one.
Gradual,
Hey, gradual grind. One step at a time. You're gonna get there. You're gonna be where you need to be.
for sure. But don't just sit and wait. Make the moves.
Hey, yes, sir.
All right, man. I think we're gonna try to cut it a little shorter than last time. Hopefully, people stuck around this long. And again, if y'all want to join in on the conversation, you guys want to leave some comments and feedback, feel free to. You want
Yeah.
to diss us, that's cool too. We'll take it. Just any feedback is good. But I hope y'all enjoyed. And Evan, you can sign it off if you want.
Hey, thanks for watching. Slow movement better than no movement. Have a great week. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.